I see that Dario and Lidio are on. They are with a wonderful company called Avio Race. And I am going to let you take over, Brad, for the next 25 minutes. And we're going to have two sessions of 25 minutes back to back, Avio Race and HMS Motorsport on safety. So on to you, Mr. Gilly.
All right. Well, fantastic. Well, thank you very much. Absolutely looking forward to this and really happy to see everyone who's been on and everything that we've seen so far this morning. As always, if you have a question for our panelists, just please feel free to type it down in the chat and we'll get your question asked. But we're definitely have a lot of things that we plan to talk about. So gentlemen, welcome first of all. And again, if I've mispronounced your name, I apologize. But Dario Zanelli, Electronics Parts Manager, Lidio Patrizio, did I get that right?
Yeah, great. Thanks.
Oh, fantastic. And is Francesco going to join us as well, or is it just the three of us here?
Oh, it's just the two of us.
Okay, okay, perfect, awesome. Well, let's talk about Avio Race and the steering wheels and everything that we're going to talk about here today. So give us a little bit of an overview about, you know, the different types of racing categories, the series where people can find your product in your steering wheels.
Yeah, okay. So just to have to give you a quick overview about Avio Race, as said before, we are an Italian company. We are located in the deep heart of the Italian Motor Valley, so we are very close to the famous Maranello, so just 15 minutes far away, and a few minutes from the homeland of famous brands like Ducati, Pagani, Lamborghini, Maserati. We are in the middle of this area. So the company was born in 2004, and basically a relevant part of our business is related to commercial activities, so distribution, import, export of products dedicated to motorsport applications. We also produce sensors, and we manage loom manufacturing through a company that we acquired a couple of years ago. And a small part of the business, but fast-growing part of the business, is related to electronics product development and production, and also engineering services. So steering wheels are part of this small but efficient business that is fast-growing during the years. So racing categories where you can find our steering wheels. Okay, basically mainly in GT applications like GT3, GT4, one make series, a famous collaboration we have with Lamborghini Squadra Corse. So we are technical partner of Lamborghini, and we are developing, co-developing steering wheels and producing steering wheels for them. So for the Huracan Super Trofeo and other applications. Other type of competitions are prototypes, hill climbs or mountain climbs like Pikes Peak, and off-road. So we have quite a large, let's say, presence for our products, and with our latest developments, so a Formula type steering wheel, we are also able to enter in this kind of market, so for Formula cars and Le Mans prototypes.
That's pretty impressive. And going over the website, you mentioned all of the different products and everything that that you guys offer. It really is a lot, but like you said, we're here to talk about steering wheels here today. Now, there are a few different types of steering wheels, and plus you have the center dashboards and consoles, quick release, custom steering wheels, and everything. You know, when it comes to, okay, what I need for my application, and I'm sure if I run a GT car or something, I've got a pretty good idea, and you have a pretty good idea as well. But give me an idea of some of the options. Talk about some of the different things that you have to offer as far as functionality goes in the wheels.
Okay, so I leave the word to Dario, that is our electronic engineer and the guy who's developing everything. So
thanks, Lidio, for introduction. Our steering wheel, you know, a steering wheel can be based on three different main elements: the front part or the front cover of the steering wheel, the main chassis frame, and then the back of the steering wheel. We can find the main functionality on the front cover, where you can find different buttons and the rotaries. So we obviously have different kind of buttons, so latching type or non-latching type, and the rotaries we are used to have up to 12 positions for each rotaries, and obviously can be selected in the position. So the customer can decide how many positions each rotaries can have. And all these functions are managed by an electronics, which is placed inside the front cover. And this electronics is completely designed in-house. So from the hardware to the software, this is running. And using this kind of electronics inside the steering wheel, we are able to collect all the button and the rotaries and send all the data over digital signal like the CAN bus. And this is very flexible because let the customer choose the functionality of each button and rotaries, or a combination of buttons. So we can program the electronics to do whatever the customer needs, and it's very, very flexible. Going to the back of the steering wheel, we usually can offer other functionality like the paddle shifter or the clutch shifter. Another thing that's really important is that our steering wheel can be manufactured with or without a display. We have very super high brightness display, and the graphics can be completely customized by the customer. So it's very nice to view, and also for the driver is very important to have the important information on the screen.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. And I like the displays on the steering wheels and really just the way everything looks. You know, when it comes to getting it programmed, you know, and you mentioned CAN bus and all of that, how exactly does all of that work? If I've got specific things, is that something that, you know, if I needed to update, or maybe is it easy to change the programming? How does all of that work?
The electronics, it's quite complex, and we have a modular system that we can also adapt to different type of steering wheel. And the electronics has a software which is running, and it's completely flexible. So we can also add extra component, like as I mentioned, a display, or for example, a shift light bar. So we can drive shift light bar for different LEDs, and we can program not just to work like a shift light, but also like alarm LED. So all these kind of flexibility and option are possible thanks to our electronics, which works in conjunction with the display if it's required. And with the hardware, we are able to change the software just connecting to the steering wheel with the external connector or directly over the CAN bus. So all around the world, we can just update the software and send it to the customer with just one click. So it's quite impressive.
Wow, that is really impressive. I think that's pretty neat. You mentioned the paddle clutch and the paddle shifters and quick release and all of that. Could you tell me a little bit more about that? Maybe talk about, you know, the intricacies and how all of those different things work.
So for example, here we have paddle shifter. It's completely designed in-house. It's with premium materials. So we have the main core, which is aluminum, and the pedal, which is carbon fiber. And the paddle is it can be adjusted in position, and the system works with magnet. So the feedback for the driver, it's really good. And those system, it's used mainly on GT application, but we have also different shape of the final paddle and can be reused on a Formula type steering wheel. And then the last design, which is our Formula steering wheel, has the paddle shifter, which means we have a proportional position sensor on the back of the steering wheel, which is used to control the clutch into the car. So this is possible thanks to a very good sensor, which is highly integrated into the mechanics and with the electronics, and let the driver to control the position of the clutch in a very precise way. Then another very important option is that our clutch system can be adjusted in road position, so the driver can have a very fine tuning of the position, and it's very adjustable. So it's something that many drivers like to have, and we introduced it with the last design process. So
yeah.
Yes. Regarding the Chrontech, the quick release system, we have mainly two elements we are used to work. One is Chrontech quick release, which is mainly used for GT application, and for Formula type application we moved to one which is smaller and lighter, and which is from an Italian company called the AI Tech. So different quick release system for different kind of steering wheel. This is our solution at the moment, but we are happy to manage any quick release system request from the customer.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of options as far as being able to customize something specifically, which I think the clutch thing too, you talk about the adjustment and all of that, I'm sure is just fantastic. But, you know, designing a complete wheel, yeah, I would imagine, you know, if I wanted a wheel, if I wanted to order one and I, you know, said, hey, I run GT cars. I mean, do you have something fairly, I don't want to say generic, but just kind of already done? Or if I, you know, come to you and say, okay, I would like to have this here, I have this here, maybe have this here, you know, how does that process work?
We are completely open to any requests by our customers, since we can start just from blank. So we start a complete co-design with our customer. Maybe we can have the style or the sketch of the desired steering wheel from our customer, or maybe we can make our own proposal. Because we have also a style guy that is working with us and to propose a specific style according to the interior of the car or the kind of car that we need to manufacture. Because sometimes we have GT cars, but in some cases we have also hypercars or few of what we call, so for let's say specific versions for specific people, I would say. So it's a complete custom management. So customers are coming to us asking for a standard product with a few deviations to make it a little bit custom, let's say, or they start from zero, so from a sketch. So in this case, we can manage the whole production of the wheel frame with the specific design, specific, let's say, handle systems with or without leather on it. So whatever kind of customization is possible for us, it's not a problem. We have a supply chain around this area that is able to serve whatever kind of needs. And then we go through the electronics with backlight system, not backlight system, functionalities from the top side, from the rear side. If someone wants the carbon fiber, let's say steering wheel, we can manage it completely in carbon fiber. Now there are also natural composites, so so green, let's say green or sustainable products, sustainable materials for the front cover. This is also possible. And also, what Dario forgot before, we can also add the dual functionality for the steering wheel. So we can have a dual electronics. So we can plug the steering wheel on the race car, and it's able to communicate via CAN bus with the engine ECU, with the ECU of the car. And we can plug the same steering wheel on a simulator, and so the driver can use it at home. Just to make some trainings or something like that. So this is a technology that we have developed a couple of years ago, and it's fully available with a combination of drivers and simulations. So this is also something feasible. Then in terms of customization, everything is related to the budget and available and quantity of steering wheels that customer is going to request. We have also standard products. What we call standard means standard frame with standard cover, standard functionalities. We just apply some small changes for the labels, for the logo of the customer, and this is something that we call standard for us, but it's a dedicated product anyway. But the price is still let's say affordable. So even for one piece.
Wow, that's impressive. So however I want the wheel to look, how the hand grips, all of that, it's not just the button functionality, everything can be customizable. And the fact that you can take it from car to simulator and everything works the same, that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's impressive. We do have a question from chat, and I'm not going to attempt to speak Italian here, but I believe he was greeting you very nicely. But it says, are you creating steering wheels for simulators and high-level gaming? So we talked about the simulator, but you know,
so up today, so we are absolutely able to do that. If we want. We can produce steering wheels dedicated to simulators. This is not a problem for us. Today, we didn't have the chance yet because there is a big player in the world, and that is Fanatec, that is really dedicated to this business. We could do this just for specific projects. We have been inquired by a couple of manufacturers to do this, but up to date we didn't have the chance. We just made a collaboration with a producer of simulators that is called InSim. It's a Portuguese company, and we made the steering wheel for them. And it has a dual function, yeah, for us it's really not a problem. We don't have a list of references up to date because it's only 2 years, and last year was almost lost for many new projects due to pandemic. But yeah, we are absolutely. It's really easy for us to produce that. It's not really a problem.
So you guys have been doing steering wheels for 2 years now, right? What got you into it?
We are producing steering wheels since 2012.
Okay.
We are able to produce dual function steering wheels since 2 years. Yeah. But
okay.
for racing cars, we are producing. We started in 2001, 2002, 2012. Sorry, 2012, and we have produced almost 1,000 wheels up to now.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. When it comes to, you know, and especially right now, I mean, you mentioned the pandemic, and the pandemic has obviously given a lot of challenges to a lot of people, including not just supply chain, just getting parts and pieces, but also shipping, getting them out to people. What would you recommend for a racer? You know, say it's someone overseas, say it's someone in the United States that is looking for what you have. How long does this process take? How long before, you know, we talk on the phone, figure out what we want, to the time that I actually am putting it in my car?
Well, today we are not suffering too much lead times for electronic components because we adapt every time the production of new wheels, and we make some small changes in our list of components in order to find the ones that are available on the market at the moment. So this is let's say this is something that every producer of electronics components is going to do, so to adapt the design to availability of material. So today, if you order one of our standard steering wheels, let's say what we call standard, so means the ones that you find on our website, in 6-7 weeks we are able to deliver everywhere in the world. This is not a problem. If you start to make a complete new design starting from zero, the standard process requires around about 3 to 4 months to have the first proto. And after the validation of the proto, in an additional 2 months, you have the final product for serious production. So we are very fast, I would say, to do this. And we are used to manage requests from big manufacturers, so that they are always late with the design of the style. So we got quite a good experience with them because they change the style every time till the end. So this is the reason why our approach is quite, we go fast.
How about cost? You know, can you give us an idea of the range? You know, maybe somewhere from standard to custom, about what the price would be? So
a standard, let's say, a standard product that we can provide in what I say, the 6-7 weeks is something that we manage at stock, most of the basic components. So a steering wheel with a carbon frame with several functionalities, complete with quick release, paddle shifters, and the display. It's around $5,000 each. And then there are some small customization that can change the price a little bit, but not too much. The average price of a more, let's say, standard wheel without display and without, let's say, with basic functionalities is less than 4,000. So and for big volume projects, prices are okay, getting lower and lower. Depends on the quantity, because then it becomes a small series production, so we can optimize everything. We can work on a very good supply chain. We can work on a good assembly process. That for small quantity, it's a completely manual process and quite expensive in terms of time. It's a really handmade. When we go to 50, 100, 200 pieces batches, pictures are changing completely. So we have big savings, and so the price for the customer will be less.
Do you find, you know, like say the average racer, the average customer, is this something that they're ordering in multiple quantities? Like would I want 2 just to have a backup, if you will, you know, or if I just had one and had something go wrong, you know, trying to get, you know, something repaired, or the turnaround time, how does that work?
Well, yeah.
Well, our steering wheel can be obviously repaired. We usually design during the design process, taking in mind that the steering wheel can be damaged. So we always try to find the best solution, which is the best compromise in cost and repairable items. So obviously, if the customer is in the opposite place in the world respect to our workshop, it's difficult to help the customer during a racing weekend, but surely our steering wheel can be repaired. So if something goes wrong and you can finish the race, you can send it back and we repair the steering wheel. I would like also to mention that from let's say some years we started also to do backlight steering wheel. So these are used in night races or endurance races, and the backlight system is obviously designed in-house as well, and the intensity of the light can be changed by the driver, and also we can design the backlight to be selective to one button or one label, and this means that we can create a steering wheel which I want to call active steering wheel, because if, for example, something goes wrong into the car, we can start blinking or change color to a button or function, so the driver can see immediately what is going wrong. So this is, I think, a good step for the drivers, because they have an immediate feedback about what is going on the car.
Oh, what a great idea. If the whole steering wheel lights up and when something's wrong, I think that's fantastic. A question from the chat. Do you make Wi-Fi or Bluetooth control systems for your steering wheels? An example, a configurable wheel that can control ancillary functions of the vehicle. Would not be for a bespoke application, but an add-on system for a vehicle. So I guess maybe what he's asking, like, could it connect to Wi-Fi or Bluetooth to maybe change some of the functionality of the buttons?
Yeah, well, we do we explored this option in the past, but in the racing weekend, you need an item that is very reliable. So in the end, after many tests, we found that sometimes Bluetooth or radio connection is not the best option to have a very reliable steering wheel. So we decide that our steering wheel at the moment, with the technology that are available on the market, with a price that is that can be proposed to the customer, it's not a good way to control the car with a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth model. So I know that someone uses into a simulator, but in a real race car, maybe it's not the best option.
You know what? That makes sense. Reliability should always take precedence over convenience, for sure. I know people can find Avio Race through your page on the Epartrade website, but I have to say, navigating through your website is so simple. And we were talking about price, real easy to request a quote, and it's really explained very well what you do. I think it's just a fantastic product and very exciting to talk about here today.
Thank you very much.
The concept for Epartrade is basically, in my opinion, there's a big hole in the internet. So the internet started many years ago, but there's never been an online business community for racers on the World Wide Web. The need for Epartrade is actually quite obvious. Basically, people in the business of auto racing need a place online to hang out and get their problems solved.
It's extremely simple for a buyer or for a supplier to interact on the platform. The first thing you need to do is sign in, which is free. And the second thing is, when you see a product that you're interested in, all you need to do is click on request more information. If it's a company, you click on request more information, and then from there, it is forwarded directly to the buyer or to the supplier.
You can go to epartrade.com, you become part of a community of businesses in racing, and it makes sourcing products much easier than just on the internet or using Google.
At Epartrade, there is no e-commerce. It's literally a connection just like at a trade show. So now, any time of the year, a buyer could reach out to a supplier through an email.
More than that, it's a place to go just to keep current every day. So it's a good place to start your workday in your racing business or in your offices of your professional race team. And you know you're current when it comes to new technology, industry news, technical papers, technical videos, all of that and more. We're not looking for a million hits per day. All we want is people who are really the volume buyers of racing products in the racing industry to be part of the little world of Epartrade. We have racing businesses participating from around the world. So you get suppliers from around the world, you get buyers from around the world.
Epartrade really eliminates having to travel, closing down your shop. Now you have a place to showcase globally your racing product and technology.
There are two types of people, racers and everyone else. Racer Magazine is for those who believe that racing is a way of life. Racer embodies the excellence that defines a sport driven by passion, courage, and ingenuity. Get 1 year of both Racer's print and digital edition for only $39 with instant access to our entire digital issue archive. Subscribe now at info.racer.com.